Okay, so last week we started on our Monet drawing and we watched a video about his beautiful gardens and water lilies, and then we painted the blue background and sprinkled it with salt. The first step today is to make sure to rub off all that salt. And once we've rubbed off all the salt, we can start to draw our own Monet water lily garden. So we've got a dark blue, a light blue, a dark green, a light green, a pink, and a purple. So you and your buddy should be sharing those colors. I'm going to start with the bridge, and I'm going to start with the dark blue. So halfway up, our paper's tall. Halfway up our paper, let me zoom out a little so you can see it all. Halfway up our paper, so this is the middle, right? If you were to fold it in half, don't actually fold it, but if you were to fold it, my finger would be the halfway point. That's where we're going to do our bridge. And we're just going to do a big curved line that goes from one end to the other. And then we're going to go down like 1.5 inches, and we're going to do another curved line. Try and curve it at the same angle as the first one. Okay, now we need to make them a little thicker. So I'm going to go back and kind of color it so it's a little thicker of a line. So we don't want a skinny line, we want a fat line. So I'm just going back and kind of coloring to make it, instead of this skinny, it's a little bit, do you guys see how that's wider? And I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom one. Okay, so these are going to be the rails of the bridge that goes over his water lily pond. Okay, now in between those there's going to be little lines. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do, just divide it up, and every I would say about 1.5 inches or a few fingers, maybe 3 fingers, 4 fingers, we're going to do a little line splitting that bridge. And remember, we're doing thicker lines, not thin lines. Okay, now we're going to do one thin little line, not a thick one, a thin one, going in the middle, curving. Okay, so when you have that, we're ready to take our light and make highlights. So these are shadows, this is our dark color. We're using value to make it look 3D. So light colors and dark colors put together makes things look 3D. So we're going to use the light color, and we're going to go on top of this dark, and we're going to make a line. And it's going to be almost the same color as the paint, so it's okay if you can't really see it. It's going to be on top of our dark blue, and then we're going to do on the top of this one, not covering over it, just right on top. So you still see blue below it. And then on the left side of each of these, we're going to add some light. Okay, so there's our bridge. Now, we are going to add in our trees along the side. And for those, we're just going to do little swirlies. Just kind of, you can do them however you want. I'm just going to swirl like this, but if you want, you can do kind of leaves like that. Play around to kind of fill in the space. First, I'm going to do it with dark, and I'm going to go in between the little bridge, and then I'm going to go do some on this side. Don't do it in the middle. Leave the middle blank. Just on each side of this bridge, we've got some trees. Okay, so that was the dark green. Now I'm going to take the light green and do another layer over with light green. So we've got both colors. Make some light and dark values. I'm going to take this paper off so we can really, a little bit of that broke. Really use it. If you peel the paper off your oil pastels, that's fine. Just make sure you throw the paper in the recycle bin. Okay. So, now I've got my trees on each side. Now for the fun part. We're going to do the water lilies. But we want to make it look like the river or the creek is going back in space. So we're going to be doing something called 1-point perspective. What we are going to be doing is drawing lines out from it going back in space at 1 point. So instead of the river being a straight line, it's going to go back like this. So if you want, you can take a pencil, and this is going to make it a little easier. Let me grab the pencil really quickly. Okay. You're going to do a dot in the middle. Maybe we'll do the dot right here. We're going to do a dot in the middle, and just very lightly, because we don't want to see this pencil line. Draw a line from here to the corner of the page. Now, I'll zoom in so you can see it, but I've drawn it so light because I don't want people to see that. That's just going to be for us to help us. Do you guys see how you can see it? Look how light I drew. You can see it, but it's very light because I don't want people to see it unless they're really close to the painting, just like Monet's water lilies. Okay, so now that we have a triangle, basically, we are going to only put water lilies in that triangle, not outside of it. So they'll be bigger the closer they get to the bottom of the page and smaller as they go back. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by doing a circle, a bigger circle down here. Maybe I'll do 3. You can always go back and add more. For now, let's just do these, and then you can go back and add as many as you want. So these are going to be our biggest ones. Then we're going to move back, and these are going to be a little smaller. Then we're going to move back, and they're going to be a little smaller. And every time we move back, they're a little smaller. Remember, they're going to be kind of long ovals. So now go back and add in more. Just make sure they match the size of the ones around them. Okay, when you have all your water lilies in, we're going to darken the bottom of the water lily pad with the dark green, but we're going to leave the top half blank because we're going to go back with light green. So we just darken the bottom. And if they're a little wobbly, don't worry, because remember when we looked at Monet's water lilies, they were kind of all smushed, weren't they? They were kind of blobs, big blobs of paint. And when you got up really close, you couldn't even tell they were flowers. So don't worry if they're a little messy. Okay, now we're going to go back and color the top of it light green. Okay, now you guys get to do your flowers. So I've got pink and purple. You can do them however you want. I like to just do kind of a little wiggle, like up, 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 just a little zigzag. Up, up, up. And just like Monet, they don't have to be perfect. They're just kind of the hint of a flower. And you can do as many pink and as many purple as you want. And when you are done with your water lilies, then you can add in green bushes and stuff along the side of the river. And you can do those however you want. Maybe I'll add some grass, some tall kind of grasses. And if I want, I could add some tall flowers and things like that on the side. So, here you go. Here's our picture. You guys can make it, as many things as you want along the sides. Can't wait to see it.